Here's a number that stings. The average British family bins around 60 pounds of food every single month, straight into the caddy without a second thought. Your nan would have gone pale at the sight of it. She fed a house of 6 on what you spend on a Friday takeaway and never wasted so much as a crust. Number 9 on this list cuts your bread waste to nothing. Number 3 turns the thing you chuck in the bin every week into 3 free meals. 25 tricks. Let us count them down, because your trolley is about to get a lot cheaper. Number 25. Cheese in greaseproof paper, never cling film. Your nan never had cling film strangling a block of cheddar, and there was a reason for it. Cheese is alive. It needs to breathe. Seal it in plastic and the moisture has nowhere to go, so it sweats, then sours, then grows that fuzzy blue coat within days. She wrapped hers loosely in greaseproof or waxed paper, then popped it in the cheese drawer where the air could still move around it. That simple swap doubled the life of a block, easily. A wedge that would have gone slimy by Thursday stayed firm and sharp the following week. With decent cheddar knocking on for a £5 a block now, saving half of everyone from the bin is real money back in your pocket. She knew cheese wanted air, not a plastic prison. Number 24. Mushrooms in a paper bag. Buy a punnet of mushrooms, leave them in that plastic tray with the film on top, and by day 3 they are slimy, dark, and headed for the bin. Your nan never let that happen. She tipped them straight into a brown paper bag and stood them in the bottom of the larder. Mushrooms are basically little sponges, and the paper wicks away the damp they give off instead of trapping it against them. In the plastic punnet, they stew in their own moisture. In paper, they stay dry, pale, and firm for well over a week. She could buy a big bag from the market on Saturday and still be slicing good, firm mushrooms into a Wednesday omelette. A humble brown bag, the kind the greengrocer handed over for free, doing the work of nothing money can buy. Number 23. Herbs standing in water like a bunch of flowers. A bunch of fresh parsley or coriander wilts into a sad, slimy mess in the salad drawer within 2 days, and at nearly £1, a bunch that is a proper waste. Your nan treated hers like she treated cut flowers. She snipped a little off the stems, stood them upright in a glass with an inch of water in the bottom, then loosely draped a plastic bag over the top and left them on the windowsill or in the fridge door. The stems kept drinking. The leaves stayed perky, and a bunch that should have lasted 2 days stretched to 2 weeks. Basil liked it warm on the sill. The hardier herbs preferred the cool of the fridge. Either way, nothing turned to slime, and every meal got that fresh green lift for pennies. Number 22. A sheet of kitchen roll in the salad bag. Bagged salad is a con, and your nan would have told you so. You pay a premium, and half of it dissolves into brown mush before you have finished the bag. Here was her fix. She would open the bag, drop in a folded sheet of kitchen roll, and reseal it. That single sheet soaks up the condensation that would otherwise pool at the bottom and rot the leaves from below. The same trick works on a whole lettuce wrapped in a slightly damp cloth, or a cucumber rolled in kitchen roll before it goes in the drawer. Dampness is what kills salad, not age. Keep the leaves dry and they stay crisp for days longer. It is the difference between using the whole bag and binning a soggy third of it every single time. Number 21. Potatoes and onions kept apart and kept in the dark. Most people tip their spuds and onions into the same wire rack and wonder why both go off in a fortnight. Your nan knew better. Onions give off gases and moisture that make potatoes sprout and turn green faster, and potatoes return the favor by softening the onions. So she stored them at opposite ends of the kitchen, both somewhere cool, dark and dry. Potatoes went in a paper sack or an old Hessian bag in the bottom of the larder, never a sealed plastic one, and never the fridge, where the starch turns oddly sweet. Onions hung in a net in a cool corner. Kept properly and kept apart, a sack of potatoes lasted a month or more without a single green shoot. Cheap food, made to last simply by keeping 2 vegetables from arguing with each other. Number 20. Bring limp veg back to life in ice water. First pattern break. Here is where the real magic starts. That bag of carrots gone bendy, the celery you could tie in a knot, the wilted spring greens. Do not bin them. Your Nan certainly did not. She filled a bowl with cold water, dropped in a handful of ice, and left the sad, tired veg to soak for half an hour. The limp cells drink the water back up through the cut ends and plump right back to firm and snappy, good as the day they were bought. There is no trick to it, just science. Vegetables go limp because they lose water, so you give the water back. Bendy carrots stand up straight again. Floppy celery cracks when you snap it. A whole head of lettuce revives from a cold soak. Food you had written off, rescued in the time it takes to make a brew. Number 19. Carrots kept in a tub of water. Once you have revived them, keep them that way. Peeled or whole, your Nan stored carrots submerged in a container of cold water in the fridge, changing the water every couple of days. Out in the open air, they dry out, go rubbery, and grow that white blush within a week. Sitting in water, they stay crisp and bright orange for 3 weeks, sometimes longer. She would do a big prep on a Sunday, peel and batten a whole bag ready for the week's stews and packed lunches, and drop the lot in a tub of water so nothing ever dried out. The same works for peeled potatoes if you are getting ahead, keeping them white instead of grey. A little jug of water doing the job of keeping a fortnight's veg fresh for the cost of turning the tap on. Number 18. The vinegar bath for berries. Nothing turns your stomach like opening a punnet of strawberries or raspberries to find a fuzzy grey patch of mould creeping across them, especially at the price berries fetch these days. Your Nan's answer was a quick vinegar bath. As soon as they came home, she gave them a swirl in a bowl of water with a good splash of white vinegar, 1 part vinegar to about 3 of water, then rinsed and dried them gently and stored them lined with kitchen roll. The vinegar kills off the invisible mold spores sitting on the skins, the very things that spread and rot the whole punnet. You cannot taste it once they are rinsed. What you notice is berries that last a full week instead of turning at day 2. For anyone who watches half a punnet of raspberries go furry, this trick pays for the vinegar 100 times over. Number 17. Separate the banana bunch and wrap the stems. Bananas seem to go from green to freckled to black in the blink of an eye, and it is the bunch that speeds it up. Your Nan pulled the bananas apart rather than leaving them joined because bananas ripen by giving off ethylene gas from the stem, and a tight bunch bathes every fruit in it. Split them up, and each one ripens at its own gentle pace. Then she took it one step further and wrapped the little cut stems in a twist of cling film or foil, trapping the gas at the source. That alone buys you 3 or 4 extra days of yellow bananas before the speckles arrive. Keep them well away from your apples and tomatoes too, which throw off the same gas. A bunch that used to go over before you could eat it, now lasting the full week. Number 16. Freeze it before it turns, not after. Your Nan's freezer was not a graveyard for forgotten mystery bags. It was a bank. The moment something was heading towards its date and she knew it would not get used, in it went while it was still good. Milk about to go off freezes beautifully, just decant a splash out of the bottle first to give it room to expand, and it keeps for weeks. Grate cheese before it can go moldy and freeze it in a bag, ready to sprinkle straight onto a pasta bake. Butter freezes for months. A loaf, cooked rice, chopped chilies, a knob of tomato puree. She never let food sit in the fridge slowly dying when the freezer could pause it in its tracks. The rule was simple: freeze at its best, not at its worst. That one habit alone saved pounds every single week. Number 15. The egg float test, so you stop binning good eggs. How many perfectly good eggs get chucked the day after the box says so, out of sheer nervousness? Your Nan never wasted an egg on a printed date. She trusted the water glass. Drop an egg into a bowl of cold water. If it sinks and lies flat on its side, it is fresh as anything. If it stands up on one end, use it today. If it floats to the top, only then is it past it. It works because an egg develops a tiny air pocket as it ages, and a bad one fills with enough gas to float. A dozen eggs is real money now, and a good egg keeps for a fortnight or more beyond the box date. She would test a doubtful one in seconds and carry on baking, never throwing away food that was perfectly fine to eat. Number 14. Save the vegetable cooking water. When your nan drained the potatoes, the carrots, or the greens, that cloudy water did not go down the plug hole. She caught it in a jug. That water is full of starch and flavor and dissolved goodness that most people pour straight away. The potato water thickened her gravy without a scrap of flour. The greens water went into the base of tomorrow's soup or stew. She would even let it cool and pour it on the garden because the plants loved the minerals. Nothing that had flavor in it was allowed to escape. A proper gravy built on the water the veg was boiled in tastes deeper and richer than anything from a granule. And it cost you nothing but the second it takes to catch it in a jug instead of the sink. Waste not, want not, right down to the water. Number 13. The dripping jar. Second pattern break. Controversy incoming, because this one was practically banned. Every one of your nans cooked a Sunday roast and saved the fat. The beef dripping, the bacon grease, the rendered goodness from a joint, all strained through a bit of muslin into a jar and kept for cooking. Roast potatoes fried in beef dripping are a different animal entirely. A fried egg in bacon fat, a base for gravy, all of it free, all of it flavor you already paid for. Then the health campaigns of the 70s made saturated fat the villain, and a nation poured its dripping down the drain and bought bottled oil instead. But the science has softened, and cooks have quietly gone back to it. A jar of dripping costs nothing because it is a byproduct of a meal you already cooked, and it replaces the oil you would otherwise buy every week. Your nan never stopped. She knew. Number 12. Blanch and freeze the summer glut. When the allotment or the market threw up more than anyone could eat, cheap runner beans by the bagful, a glut of peas, tomatoes going 3 for £1, your nan did not let it rot. She preserved the moment. A quick blanch, a minute or two in furiously boiling water, then a plunge into ice cold, then into the freezer in bags. The boiling water stops the enzymes that would otherwise turn the veg mushy and grey in storage, locking in the colour and the goodness. In February, when fresh veg was dear and dismal, she was pulling summer beans and sweet peas out of the freezer for a fraction of shop prices. It is how you buy cheap when food is cheap and eat it when food is dear. A little work in August that fed the family right through the cold, hungry end of winter. Number 11. Overripe fruit is a resource, not rubbish. Those black bananas everyone throws out are the best baking bananas there are. Your nan knew that overripe fruit is not spoiled, it is concentrated. The softer and sweeter it gets, the better it bakes. 3 sad black bananas became a banana loaf that filled the tin. Bruised apples became a crumble or a pan of stewed apple for the week's puddings. Squishy berries became a quick jam or went into the freezer for smoothies and sauces. She never once looked at a bowl of tired fruit and saw waste. She saw tomorrow's pudding for free. A cake made from fruit that would otherwise have gone in the bin is about the cheapest baking there is, and it fills the kitchen with a smell that no shop-bought cake can touch. The uglier the fruit, the sweeter the bake. That was her rule. Number 10. Soured milk into soda bread. Modern noses recoil at milk on the turn, but your nan's lit up because slightly soured milk is the secret to the best baking. That acidity is exactly what soda bread, scones, and pancakes want. It reacts with the bicarbonate of soda to give a beautiful rise and a soft, tender crumb you cannot get from fresh milk. So a pint about to turn was not a loss. It was the start of a warm loaf of soda bread on the table within the hour. No yeast, no proving, no waiting. She would mix it with flour, bicarb, and salt, shape it rough, cut a cross in the top, and bake it. The whole house smelled of fresh bread from a pint of milk you would have poured away. Buttermilk, soured milk, even a splash of lemon in ordinary milk. All of it turned from waste into the best bake of the week. Number 9. Zero bread waste forever. Here is the one. Bread is the single most wasted food in Britain. Millions of loaves binned every year, and your nan wasted none of it. First, the freezer. A loaf freezes perfectly, and you can toast slices straight from frozen, so you only ever thaw what you need instead of racing a whole loaf before it goes stale. Second, the revival. Stale rolls come back to life, wrapped in a slightly damp tea towel and warmed in a low oven, the steam making them soft and fresh again in 5 minutes. Third, the ends. The heels and any slice too far gone got blitzed into breadcrumbs and frozen, ready to top a fish pie or bind a batch of rissoles. Nothing was thrown out. Between the freezer, the damp cloth and the breadcrumb bag, a loaf that others waste a third of gave up every last slice. Bread waste cut to nothing. Number 8. Bulk out the mince. Third pattern break. This is where the real stretching begins. A pound of mince is one of the priciest things in your trolley, so your nan never let it stand alone. She made it go twice as far without anyone noticing. A handful of red lentils simmered into a bolognese vanishes completely into the sauce, adding body and protein while halving the meat. Porridge oats or soaked breadcrumbs mixed into burgers and meatloaf hold in the moisture and pad out the meat, the very trick chefs now call a panade and act like they invented. Grated carrot, mushrooms chopped fine, a tin of beans in the chili. Every one of them stretched 1 pound of mince into a meal for 6 instead of 4. The flavor held, the family was full, and the meat bill dropped by a third. Half the meat, twice the meals, and not a soul at the table any the wiser. Number 7. Batch cook and portion freeze. Your nan cooked once and ate 3 times. When she had the pot out, the oven on, and the chopping board dirty anyway, she never made just enough. She made double or triple and froze the rest in portions. A big pan of stew, a vat of soup, a tray of cottage pie, all divided into meal-sized tubs and stacked in the freezer with the date on the lid. It cost barely more to cook a large batch than a small one, and it saved the gas of cooking from scratch every night. On the days she was tired or money was tight before payday, there was a proper home-cooked meal waiting, no takeaway required. Cooking in bulk buys you cheaper ingredients, cheaper energy, and a freezer full of ready dinners that stop you reaching for the expensive convenience food. One afternoon's work feeding the family for a fortnight. Number 6. The Wednesday using up tea. Every week your nan had a meal with no recipe and no shopping list, built entirely from the odds and ends the fridge had accumulated. The half an onion, the lonely sausage, the last 2 rashers, the veg going soft, the scrape of leftover mash. It all went into a fry-up, a frittata, a soup, or a pie. Bubble and Squeak was born of exactly this. Monday's leftover veg fried into something new. A frittata will swallow almost any leftover vegetable and a heel of cheese. A soup takes whatever is left in the drawer and turns it into supper. By clearing the fridge once a week, she made sure nothing was ever quietly rotting at the back, forgotten and wasted. It is the meal that costs nothing because everything in it was already bought and about to be binned. The cheapest and often the tastiest tea of the week. Number 5. Freeze herbs and leftover wine in ice cube trays. 4th pattern break. The humble ice cube tray was one of your nan's cleverest tools. That last splash of wine nobody was going to finish. The herbs about to wilt, the stock left over from Sunday, all of it went into the tray and into the freezer as little cubes. Chopped herbs frozen in a cube of olive oil drop straight into a hot pan whenever you cook. Fresh flavor on tap all winter. A cube of leftover wine goes into a gravy or a risotto without opening a whole new bottle. Stock, tomato puree, even leftover coffee for baking, all portioned into cubes that keep for months and are ready in the exact amount you need. Nothing got poured away because there was too little to save. She saved it in teaspoons, a cheap plastic tray turning the last drops of everything into a store cupboard of free flavor. Number 4. Peelings and trimmings into free stock. Most of what people bin is not waste at all, it is stock. Your nan kept a bag in the freezer and fed it all week. Onion skins, carrot peelings, celery ends, leek tops, mushroom stalks, the bits everyone else throws away. When the bag was full, she tipped the lot into a big pot with water, a bay leaf and some peppercorns, and simmered it into a rich golden vegetable stock for nothing at all. Potato peelings, tossed in a little of that, saved, dripping and roasted, made a bowl of crisps the children fought over. Parmesan rinds went into soup for a savory depth. The trimmings that fill your bin were, to her, the raw material for the base of half her cooking. Free stock instead of a pound a carton, and free crisps instead of a bag. The scraps doing the work you would otherwise pay for. Number 3. 1 chicken carcass. 3 free meals. This is the one from the top of the list. The thing you throw out every week that is worth 3 dinners. When the roast chicken was picked clean, most people bin the carcass without a thought. Your nan saw a treasure. First, she stripped every last shred of meat clinging to the bones, enough for a curry, a pie, or a round of sandwiches, a whole second meal hiding on a carcass you were about to bin. Then the bones themselves went into a pot with an onion, a carrot, and water, and simmered slowly into a stock so rich it set to jelly when cold. That stock became a soup thick with the last of the meat and some barley, and it became the base of a risotto. 1 chicken you already bought and ate on Sunday quietly turned into 3 more meals by midweek. The carcass in your bin tonight is dinner on Thursday. Number 2. The weekly meat-free pot. Meat is the single most expensive thing in the shop, so your nan simply cooked without it once or twice a week, and nobody went hungry. A pot of lentils, a pan of dried peas, a big vegetable curry, a bean stew, a cheese and onion pie. Dried pulses cost pennies, swell to many times their size, and fill you as well as any joint of meat. A bag of red lentils makes a dal that feeds the family for the price of a chocolate bar. A pot of split peas becomes a thick soup that lasts 2 days. She built these meals into the week, not as a sacrifice, but as good, filling, honest food. And the meat she saved on those days stretched the week's budget noticeably. Cut the meat from even 2 dinners a week, and the saving over a year is enormous. Cheap, hearty, and no worse for the table. Number 1. Shop your own cupboards first, then plan. The single biggest money saver of all is the one your nan did before she ever put her coat on. She never walked into a shop without a plan, and she never planned without looking at what she already had. Before writing a list, she opened every cupboard, the fridge, and the freezer, and she planned the week's meals around what needed using up first. The list was built to fill the gaps, not to pile the trolley high with things that would rot forgotten at the back. She knew what was for tea every night of the week, so nothing was bought twice, nothing went off unused, and there were no panic takeaways because the fridge was bare. This is why her kitchen ran on a quarter of what a modern one costs. Not a single clever trick, but a habit. Know what you have, plan what you will eat, and buy only the difference. Waste not, want not. Here is my challenge. Pick just one this week. Save the chicken carcass, freeze the bread, give the limp carrots a cold bath. Then look at your bin on Sunday and see how much less is in it. Your nan was not being tight. She was being clever, and she fed a family on a fraction of what we throw away. Tell me in the comments which trick your nan swore by, because I promise there is one down there I have missed. She knew. Now you know too.